We got our set on, bro.
That's right. So where do we start, you know?
Yeah, share our story. So we want to share a story, how Reset came to be. Kind of where the idea came from, our experience with some of the services, reflect back and just share kind of how this whole concept came to reality.
Yeah, I think it kind of started, 4 years ago or something. We were met at the gym. Yeah, we met at the gym. You were out there just crushing it, like doing everything that I was like, oh man, that's the guy that I want to become right there, you know?
Easy.
So I think, I think you invited me in to work out with you one time, and I was like, all right. So after, hour and a half workout.
Yeah, you're like, hey, can I work out with you? Yeah, we're doing shoulders, man, jump in.
Yeah.
90 minutes later, you're like, fuck, I'm never doing that again.
Never doing that again. It was like,
long.
Yeah, it was pretty long. I remember, I think I went like 2 months without even talking to you after that.
But you obviously, you fell in love with like recovery modalities prior to us meeting.
Yeah.
We both kind of had our own like backstory of how we did it. What kind of got you into it? What were you hoping to accomplish with hitting ice baths and some of the recovery services? And what was your goals? Did you hit them? Kind of how'd you stumble across them in the first place?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I found it. I was going through a lot of things work-wise. Back then, I owned some restaurants with a bunch of friends of mine that we still have today, and they still do really well. But I just remember I was going through a lot of mental, roller coaster, if you will. It was a mental roller coaster, and I found a place that offered these style of modalities, and so I dove right in, thinking that maybe it would give me some relief there, and it did. It really did. So I remember doing a cold plunge for the first time. I think I made it like 64 seconds or something like that.
That's pretty good for first time, though. But hey,
yeah, it
gotta
was.
start somewhere.
Yeah, and I was just like, man. And I remember that was the first time that my mind went completely blank, where I didn't really have to think about anything. I wasn't thinking about payroll. I wasn't thinking about where this was going to come from, or where, like how the restaurant was going to do, or how that other restaurant was going to do. Like everything just went silent for those 64 seconds. And I remember getting out just feeling like, that dopamine that we talk about now. And it's like, now I know what it is. But when I got out, I had no idea. I just felt this huge burst of energy, and I was just like, I can take on the world, So I think that was my first introduction to the cold plunge that really went,
This is powerful.
This is powerful.
Was it, were the expectations different than what you actually experienced? Did you go into it thinking you would have that dopamine rush, but also the stillness of the inner chatter, right? You get the inner voice, we all have it. The self-doubt, the fear, the anxiety, the stress, those limiting beliefs that I think that everybody experiences. That's just part of the human behavior. Were you expecting to have that kind of result from going in and doing the cold plunge, or was that totally a shock to what you were expecting to get out of your session?
Totally a shock.
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't think about it being something to help me with anxiety or stress or anything like that. It was just a guy. I went to an F45 class. One of the guys was telling me about it. There was a coach, and he was like, you should come check this place out. And so the only thing I thought of was, oh, it's a cool, like, when you're kids and you're playing in the snow and you're getting in the hot tub, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just something to go do. That's just fun. But like, I didn't really understand the science behind it, or what it was going to actually do for me physically.
But you felt great. Yeah, game changer. Game changer.
Yeah, so that was my intro into it, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, for me it was a little different because I think I first ice bath in 2017. I went to Tony Robbins' conference, and Wim Hof was there. It was kind of before he exploded, and he was on stage, and we did this breath work. And I did his breath work exercise, and I was like in this deep meditative state. Like there's 10,000 people in the crowd, and I was locked in, and I didn't move for like 4 or 5 minutes after they were done. And I was there with a couple guys, and like, dude, you were like locked in. It's like, holy shit, this is really cool. So I like geeked out on his story and kind of read, his backstory of his past and how he got into cold exposure. And I was like, this ice bath thing seems like it's pretty legit. So it's 2017, And then I was living in Colorado in 18 and basically had like a 100-gallon trough.
Yeah.
And I'd break the ice off to get in it every single day. It just became part of my morning, my morning ritual. And I initially started because I had knee surgeries. So playing sports, I tore my ACL twice, tore my meniscus, and it was just like, dude, I have this chronic knee pain. I've got all sorts of soreness, scar tissue, cartilage damage. I need to figure out a way that I can help cope with the pain to avoid surgery. And that's kind of that's initially what I thought the ice would do. And then to your point, when you start ice bathing regularly and the deliberate cold exposure, it's so much more than just the physical benefit.
Yeah.
Like it's cool, the inflammation, the joint pain, all that stuff, muscle recovery, that stuff is so powerful, and it's really helped me like elevate my physical fitness in a healthy way without causing damage and avoiding another surgery.
Yeah.
But the mental benefit's crazy. Like the ability for the ice to reset your nervous system and calm that anxiety and the inner voice that you mentioned is so insanely powerful. And I think not enough people realize that. They hear it and they're like, oh, it's this trendy, cool thing to do, ice bath, jump in the water. But it's so powerful to your nervous system and to your mental health, I think, even more so than the physical body.
Yeah, I think the physical benefits of it were like a second thing, or like the silver lining for me. It was something that I didn't expect to get, or I guess I expected to get, but what I really got was the mental recovery and the mental health aspect of it. And then my body just started feeling better every single day. Yeah. And I started not getting hurt, and I could run Spartans and freak I was leveling up. Everything just nothing hurt anymore.
So obviously we want to talk about our story, and I wanted to give a little context as to how we initially fell in love with some of these recovery modalities, because we fell in love kind of for different reasons, but shared that vision, right? Yeah. And I feel like for us it was a lot of how can we, this had such a positive impact on how we felt mentally and physically. How can we share this with the world? How can we go and create a space that's affordable? Because these services have been around forever. Professional athletes have ice baths in their locker rooms and their gyms, etc. And but there's not enough places to go do this and experience. And so we're like, how can we bring this to the masses, to the public, and make it affordable for people to experience how good they can feel mentally and physically?
Yeah.
And then
I think that was the first time we started talking about it, was actually inside of a sauna at the gym that we were going to. And there was a cold tub out there, but it wasn't that cold.
55 degrees.
And we both we both talked so much crap about it. We're like, this sucks,
It's broken all the time.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing something? You're like, I've been thinking about doing that. As a matter of fact, you were talking about Hot Yoga University, one of the businesses that you own that's in Scottsdale, and you were talking about how there's extra space there and potentially putting something like that in there.
Yeah.
And I was telling you about how I own the F45s, and I think it'd be perfect to put this one next to one of them. And I think that's kind of how it all, that conversation, that's how it started.
Yeah, we're like, oh, okay, this is a cool idea. And then we're just pitching and catching. At the time, you're going through 75 hard. Right?
That's right.
Priscilla, 75 hard. You were hitting your 2-a-day workouts, your gallon of water, the whole 9. That program's amazing. You're going through this crazy transformation, just getting jacked and shredded and just dialed in. And
it's the Body by Spence program is what I called it.
Paired with 75 hard. But then we go and walk, so you have to get your second outdoor workout for 45 minutes at the time. We'd walk at night. We'd have super bro night and be like, hey, bro, want to go for a walk?
Yeah. Yeah, because 75 hard, you had to do 2 workouts. One of them has to be outdoors. Yeah. And so my outdoor workout was always a walk at night with my dog.
Yeah.
And so, you were going that's awesome.
So we went through walks. Yeah. As we were pitching and catching, we're like, all right, this has changed my life. I feel better, mental clarity, focus, energy, sleep, physical side, leaning out, burning fat, faster recovery. How can we bring this, how can we share this with the world? I think we've both gone through different but similar fitness. It's always been a big part of our lives. You're like a beast. You run all sorts of ultra Spartan races and obstacle court OCR races and stuff. And I've obviously played sports and done my thing. And health and wellness is a huge passion for both of us. It went from idea to execution super fast. Because Tim, you're one of the best executors. I'm like, bro, what do you think about doing this? You're like, fucking cool. I'll do it right now. And you just get it done. I feel like the idea from reset, we went through the name, everything just fell into place.
Yeah.
I feel like it was by design, that it's the name fell in, the space was available, everything just happened so quickly. And within what seems like a few weeks, we had a brand, we had a studio opening, we didn't know what the heck we were doing, but we had a mission where we're going to help people experience how good this can feel if they take care of themselves, if they invest into themselves and in their recovery and into their health and wellness.
Yeah, and we knew what we wanted to have in the studio. We knew we wanted cold tubs, hot tubs, infrared saunas, red light therapy, and compression therapy. We knew that's what we wanted. And we got that spot. right next to the F-45, just happened to be available too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really do think it was within weeks. I was like, all right, are you really in? And you're like, yeah, I'm in. And I was like, I'm signing the fucking lease. And I signed the lease.
You're like, write me a check.
Write me a check. You're like, is there any documents or anything? I'm like, nope, I don't got those yet. I'll talk to the lawyers later. And you literally did. I think you literally wrote me a check before we even had documents signed or anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Hey, when you know, you know. Big on building relationships and trusting people. So when you got the right people in your life, it's an obvious fuck yes. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. So we got the first studio opened, and honestly, like I think in life, the first time you do something is the worst time, and you're always going to learn through repetition, right? Like going into the gym, the first time you're not going to be very good at working out until you get those reps out. If you're, training and fighting or trying to hike a mountain or cycle, like you're only going to be able to go so far that first time you do it, and you learn and iterate. And I think that's obviously what we've implemented into our locations.
Yep.
When you look at Uptown, we did an amazing job getting it up, and we did some stuff really right, and we did some stuff maybe not so right. We learned from that, and we took those learnings into the next one, and the next one took feedback from all of our members on what they liked, what they didn't like, and now it's been pretty cool to look back and say,
yeah, look at this.
We got multiple studios, we're in 2 states, and really making a positive impact on people. So it's pretty remarkable to kind of reflect back on it.
That's what I love about this is I was walking out of Uptown yesterday, which is our first studio, and as I'm walking out, somebody was sitting in the hot tub, and she was just like, hey, and like stopped me, and I was like, hey, she's like, I just felt like I should tell you something. I'm really thankful that you opened this place. And I was just like, she's like, you have no idea what this did. And I'm like, that's the funny thing is people say that to me sometimes, like, you have no idea what this done for me. I'm like, oh no, oh no, I know what this has done for you. You know, the moment that I went through this process and I felt the way that I felt, my mind started turning like, okay, how do we do this?
Yep.
And not kidding, we started chatting about it that same week.
Yeah.
And not kidding, within weeks we had signed a lease and we had opened one of these to be able to do do that for somebody else what it did for me. And it's funny, yesterday she said that to me.
She said it yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. So like it's like, and that happens all the time. There's all the time people are coming by and just being like, give us a hug and do that, and I'm just like, this is why we got into this, you know?
Yeah. It's all the fulfillment that we need. That's amazing. I love seeing the reviews or talking to people and reading the reviews. You're like, oh, dude, it's so good. Knowing you're making an impact on so many people, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think? I guess that's kind of the story, right? Is there anything we didn't touch on? I feel like it fell into place. We're on a mission to make an impact and just share what we kind of experienced personally.
Yeah.
And we're not stopping here.
No, we're not. We're going to try to take this to the world. I have this dream of 600 units, and whether we ever get there or not is irrelevant. Right?
Starting to get sweaty.
But the more of those conversations that I can have with more people around the world is really what I want. To tell me, hey, this changed my life. Because, like I said, I know. You know?
I feel you, bro.
I feel that. It's changed my life, too.
Yeah.
So
the only thing I maybe leave with anybody that's watching this right now is, here at Reset, Tim and I, we're just so grateful for you and for giving us a shot and investing into yourself more than anything. Because I think it's really difficult in the world we live in today to like take time out of the busyness of life to like love on yourself and to give back to yourself, right? And I think a lot of people feel like they don't have the ability or the permission to do so. But I encourage you to, whether it's with Reset or it's something else, give yourself some time back. If that's going out on a hike and allowing yourself to disconnect from work a little bit just to get out in nature, if that's coming into Reset to like reset your nervous system and maybe it's a massage, like whatever it is for you, I think it's easy to get caught up, at least from my perspective, in the hustle and bustle of life and like not give back to yourself. And I think ultimately that's what Reset does, is it gives you an hour to disconnect from the world, from the chaos, from technology, from work, from stress, to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with other amazing humans that are sharing similar interests. I mean, the networking and the community that are within our studios is phenomenal. Every time I come in, it's like, who am I going to meet? What conversation are you going to have? So whether it's with us here at Reset or in any other way that fits kind of what you love doing the most, I encourage you to do that, because not enough people do it, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's on our windows. It says Reset every day, and that's been the thing I've been pushing this year heavily. And that doesn't mean you have to come in to Reset every day, but just like you said, if that's a massage or if that's a hike on your own, like find something that you can do for yourself every day to reset your day. And if that's here, great. If it's only for a few minutes, fine. But I think that's the biggest thing about how we can love on ourselves, we can take care of ourselves every single day, and that's what I think we're missing here right now in this world a little bit.
Love it, bro.
Love you,
bro.